We already talked a little bit about what could be picked up. Now we let the pros do their job. The bans are already in for SK Gaming. Sandy, Ellie and Ross have been banned out. For FACMN, Spike, Pierce and Ems banned out. Mortis picked up. That's the other way around than what you told me, Trev.
Yeah, but when you look at Ope on that Brawler, I don't think that's a surprise to see him pick it up nice and early on, to be honest with you. He absolutely runs rampant on that Brawler, and you were talking about it with Shelly as well. There's just a few Brawlers that he's so comfortable on, and it's an absolute pleasure to watch him play them, and Mortis is definitely one of those.
Yeah, it's kind of wild that we are now a place where Mortis is this strong. It's worth picking up first, regardless as to all the hard counters that could follow. Because, like you mentioned, Shelly is still open here. Cordelis potentially still available. CMM going for the healing idea, and Pam, to be fair, is pretty tanky. That healing station can also apply damage, and therefore, if you are trying to lurk and creep up with the Mortis, then can be seen in advance. I don't mind it. It's not the worst of gem carriers. Pam has been making a bit of a revival towards the end of last year.
Pam definitely a EMEA favorite on Hard Rock Mine. I see Rico still open. Definitely one of the best lanes for me, at least. And then on the other side, Crow would be what I picked up for mid here. Very good against any heals, and he's such a good gem carrier because he can always jump out of harm's way, which he might have to do. Shade is coming in for FACMM. Very strong brawler in lane as well, and probably better than the Rico, not gonna lie. You can just go through walls and hit hard. The Rico's not gonna have a fun time there.
Yeah, I like the Shade a lot. The aggression that you can really bring in that Brawler is very, very solid. And shouldn't really struggle to get supers when he's faced off, against a Mortis or something more aggressive that SK Gaming might bring in. We've seen, especially in East Asia, a lot of these compositions where they just double down on aggression, especially on this map in Hard Rock Mine. Have a gem carrier that's going to be pretty sturdy, which was Charlie for the majority of yesterday, and then have two really aggressive brawlers just run it down. The Shelly's going to come in now, and Ope's got his pick of the lot here. Does he play Mortis? Does he play Shelly? He's just so incredible on both.
Well, this is the problem that I felt like CMM had a chance to hard counter the Mortis with a Shelly, and if you leave that to SK Gaming, of course they're going to kind of pick it up and take away what was the best counter to that Brawler, and in the best hands, I imagine, of OPE, but they are so diverse in SK Gaming. That's the thing, especially when we see roster changes. We were saying, on the way to the venue, like that Drage is a prime example of someone who was really drastically changed his Brawler caliber on Navi. But for SK Gaming now, the Gus, that is a really lovely mid-gem carrier and can really pack a punch.
Good old Gus on Hard Rock Mine, that's something we see quite often. Can also, of course, shield the Mortis, support him a little bit more. Now we need something on the side of FACMM to address the Shelly. Something to deal with her could be Rico. Now I wonder how well Rico will do into the Mortis. I would probably side with SK Gaming's comp here. FACMM has a well-rounded comp, a lot of tankiness in mid, so at least the Pam is going to survive one or two Mortis attacks.
Yeah, I like it a lot, to be honest. I like both of these compositions. I think what you said, Ark, about the ability of them maybe taking the Shelly and having that ability to counter out the Mortis might have been the play, but I do like that Gus a lot. We touched on it yesterday. It didn't really get picked up as a mid too much. It was kind of consistently Charlie on this map, played as one of the mids, and I was like, we saw it pop up on one of the knockout maps. I was like, where has Gus been today? But it seems that you're picking up early on, bit of a region favourite.
Well, it is going to be OP on the Mortis. Now you're on the Shelly. Already, it is the Rico that comes out on top. On that left-hand side is Dekai now will heal up and gradually push his way forwards. Leaving that left-hand side now. A choice between OP is whether he goes in the aggressive or tries to flank his way around. Meanwhile, now he's trying to get into that spot top right and lock himself in.
Yeah, great positioning for Naui at the moment. Ope trying to establish himself behind this unbreakable wall. Dash there as well from Naui, not even running the clay pigeon, just running it down into the face of his opposition. And although Kello does have quite a few gems, I don't know where they've really come from. It seems like SK have been in a pretty good spot so far.
Yeah, OP falls again on that left-hand side. Ramika going to town as well, straight down the mid. 2 gems in his pockets, and OP with a lovely gadget through the wall will leave those gems be dropped and available for SK Gaming to go back to the pocket of Ryoshi.
Well, a hypercharge available from the Rico as well, so can defend from afar. Here it is now on the Pam station as well. Don't think he's going to get much back from that super, and Ope will pick up Remika up top as well. There's the Scrap Sucker once more, and this Pam healing station doing some good work, but Yoshi finds the angle on it and brings it down. Still a gem lead at the moment for FACMM, but with this hypercharge coming in, might be an issue. Super forced out by the Shelly just to keep them both alive.
Ramika low, pinch now between Naui and Yoshi and falls. That should allow Yoshi to get back into the mid, but he's low, has got a shielded hand if he has to pop it, and a hypercharge potentially here too. FACMM are in the lead by 3 gems, so SK Gaming need to go a little bit stronger and more on the aggressive. Dekai is doing a great job for CMM on this left-hand side. Now on the right, battling with Ramika as well. Ramika's just surviving, gets the kill as well on 197 HP.
Yeah, it might have been a little bit of a waste of super in some people's opinions, but I think he should have just thrown that second Shelly super out right there, deal with him. And down goes the gem carrier here as they have 9 over their head. I think there's about 8 laying on the floor there, so they just need the one more to kick the countdown off, and there it is. Still a Pan healing station available as well as the Shade Super might be able to stop this push, and the hypercharge there as well for the healing.
Very tense for SK Gaming now. They can potentially get this gem from the mid, but Yoshi is in a real rock and a hard place. Now he's going to the gems. Oh, Dekai comes in yet again. CMM get the steal. 20 gems in the pocket, and the first game goes their way.
Yeah, really sketchy all round from SK Gaming there. They seem to be okay off the start, had some good positioning here and there, but it's just relentless shade pushes and non-stop Rico shots coming from the left-hand side, because it seemed like Ope was pretty shut down by the Rico there, so the mid wasn't really getting too much control from Ope on the left-hand side. Surprised they didn't maybe even try and switch, get some of the walls broken down, try something different, because although they had a good few gems throughout, never really seemed like they were in control of the game towards the end.
Nervous smiles for me towards the end of that player cam for CMM. Maybe they can't believe their luck, but for me, Dekai is still so good in this left-hand side lane, so confident and consistent in his approach. And SK Gaming are floundering somewhat, just not really sure how to break this. Good taps from Yoshi, but 2 that didn't follow up. Could prove costly. A nice combo spinner gadget there from OP will seal it. They've got to focus their attention on Dekai because he is so dangerous.
Well, Ope doing a bit more this time, focusing down on the Shade rather than the Rico, and a bit of a lockdown of this left-hand side here as they've got the Pam healing station along with that Rico super just sat there. Remika managed to cycle out his super as well, and Ope just dashes forward for the gem to extend it to 6, but still need a bit more as this is very capable of a turnaround for the side of CMM.
Ramika, oh, lovely swipe and a follow-up there as well from Kello. That will seal OP and leave again. All 3 members of CMM in this middle of the map. SK Gaming are going to struggle to push in, especially with a Shade hypercharge and 3 consecutive swipes onto Naui. Yoshi as well has to pop the shield just to stay in the question. Finally gets the kill, but CMM are so aggressive in their approach.
Yeah, burned a lot of the clock there and picked up some gems along the way, so although he didn't manage to get the gem carrier down, it kind of allowed them to get back into the game. And don't forget, he cycled this super as well, but with Inaui over this left-hand side and a super of his own, going to make it very difficult for him, but he just swoops into that unbreakable wall and goes maybe a little over-aggressive there as well, especially with the Shelly in their backlines. SK going to take the lead for the first time here.
OP trying to get some value from this hypercharge, but shut down yet again by Kello, who had a hypercharge of his own. Those shields coming off the back of that Pam healing station are going to be massive. 8 gems for SK Gaming and 8 for CMM now. And it's going to be a battle for this mid as Dekai pops his hypercharge. Yoshi and protective shielding, and emergency shield still goes down. It's just OPE, and with such little HP, has nothing to say. And CMM go back to spawn with all the gems.
I mean, 10 seconds, what chance do they have here? It was a brilliant takedowns from CMM at the perfect time, and I don't think they've got the time here to be able to do it. Mortis coming in, healing station down, now he's around the right side with the super. OP trying to get the job done, but he's cut short by the clock. CMM gonna take this first set, and we're carrying it on from the quarterfinals yesterday. Possibilities of big upsets.
And in the first set of 2026, 75% of this roster have got more assists than they claimed the entirety of Bubbly Finals last year. It's as simple as that. I think SK Gaming just underestimated them a little bit here and just had nothing to really go with. They were just all over the place, not really working as a squad.
Super nice gameplay all around. Remika doing some great job of staying aggressive here, cycling supers, getting back into the mix over and over again. Didn't manage to get the kills, but during that kind of onslaught that he was going for, his teammates just got gem after gem in the mid. Lovely stuff from Dekai here. Cycles the super and managed to get the kills, and he is dominating all the way through. Ope gets the refrag, but just wasn't enough in the end. Ope doing his job. Naui with only 1 kill there on the Shelly as well. Decent amount of DPS, so surprised to not see him get more, but he just didn't have a lane where he was succeeding.
I love the stats on the side of CMM, just very balanced between all 3 players. I was surprised to not see OP on the Shelly, but this is what I'm kind of reserving myself when it comes to SK Gaming and some of the squads this year coming in, because we need to see how they fare when it comes to bringing players in. Now he's got the experience, no doubt about it, and maybe that was just a misdraft first set, underestimating how the draft was going to go. But this next set will really say quite a big story, because if CMM get another set here, it would be absolutely crazy to me. And SK Gaming who were so consistent in 2025, may have met their match in the first round of the monthly final in February.
Absolutely. I mean, it wasn't even like the last game was a turnaround. They dominated both of the games. So, intrigued to see if they're going to be able to carry that on here. Ban-wise, looking at the Willow, the Ems, and the Spike on the left-hand side for SK Gaming. They're going to take the Hank as their first pick, but overall first pick for CMM was the Shade yet again, and who can fault them for that after how well they played it in the last? The Jackie, the Frank, and the Cordelius were CMM's bans, but that Hank into Shade is going to be great for SK.
Yeah, I like it. I like it from SK. Mortis is open, but again, that Shade deflates somewhat what SK were thinking, because when you're playing Shade, you can just go into a wall. There's nothing that Mortis can really do against that kind of brawler, unless they haven't got the utility to be able to defend themselves. Poker going to come in, Poker and Hank. When Frank is banned, it makes a lot of sense when you break it all down. Still, Buffy Brawlers going to be available here, but the big ones, it seems so far on EMEA, getting shut down early, and I quite like that. The Spike, the Ems, and the Frank, it does bring things back into somewhat of an order. Pierce available here, though, potentially Mina also here. Could be a very, very good shout for CMM.
Yeah, going to need some big DPS here against the healing and the tank that SK Gaming have got. Shade's not really going to bring a lot to the table unless he gets away from that Hank who's just going to be following in the entire game. Gale going to be picked up then for CMM. Just trying to halt what SK Gaming are going to be bringing to the table. The hypercharge pretty decent. We have those 3 knockbacks instead of 1. It's not a brawler we see often. It's just certain circumstances it seems to work.
Well, I know Kenny will be extremely happy to see his old man enter the arena once more. And it is definitely going to do a good shutdown potential. El Primo, as we know, with the suplex, can certainly really cause problems with the Hank and just deflate that bubble.
See that coming.
Shelly again. Yeah, I mean, it's an SK Gaming special, and I think that it could do a great amount. I would like to see OP on it. I just feel like he is the best Shelly player in this region.
Yeah, absolutely. Didn't really get the chance to get on it in the previous set, but we'll see this time if he has a bit of a better way. Not that the Shade was really doing bad against the Shelly in the last one anyway. He was kind of dominating that lane, but there was a few unbreakable walls on that map that he could just kind of traverse around. And it's not really the same for this one here. So SK Gaming needing this set to get back into it. If it gets away from them and it goes 2-0, it's going to be a very tough time to try and reverse sweep this. But, you know, it's only one set. SK definitely aren't out of it yet and came in as one of the heavy favourites.
Last year, SK Gaming only lost in monthly finals to Inner Circle, Team Heretics, and Humble. And they are all teams that have got a great deal more experience than CMM. So if they were to take a loss, it would be their worst performance, at least for 2 years, in my opinion. But now, in a much better spot. Now he's burning that bubble up, trying to get a connection eventually. But now all 3 members of CMM back in. Needs to gain something sort of that hypercharge potential as quickly as he possibly can. Very slow though on Kai, and it is going to be OP on that Shelly. That makes me feel much more confident.
I mean, this is the thing, like, both teams have got lane matchups that they desperately want. And it looks like SK are getting the ones that they want so far. Shade being forced over and over onto this Hank, and he's just rotating straight left. Shelly's going to go towards the Primo, which is exactly what they desire. It's been all Gale so far doing the defending, and he's really had no team.
I think Ramika needs to play a very strong game here and target the Hank, and for that reason, I think OP will probably be trying to shadow Naui as well and protect him in that way. Hello. Oh, great smash there from OP through the wall. See it coming as now Dakai goes on the assault, but getting tapped up himself. Hypercharge for OP, forcing this right-hand side. But a Gale twist, that means that Yoshi cannot get to that ball. It's going to delay things so much and allow potential respawn.
Well, they got the break now as well, but Poco just backing all the way up, just grabbing the ball, putting it behind this Unbreakable here and waiting for their opportune moment. But so far, the Gale's just been shutting everything they want to do down. Another slow was on Remika there, but he does have a hypercharge, and they're going for the Gale this time. I think he just missed that bubble slightly, and Remika maybe going to be able to eventually get this matchup, and that's... he's just giving it straight to the opposing team, and Ope's going to slot that one in. No kit needed to be used there, and a slight mishap where Remika saw an opening gives SK their goal.
Good capitalization from SK. The irony of having the Gale on the other side of the field, a strategy which SK are renowned for over the years, could come back to bite still if CMM can get another goal. Now the ball being pushed away is Ramika going on the aggressive, but there's 3 members of SK there, and it's going to only go one way for him.
Well, the jump's there again, just trying to get OP out the way, and now Dakai going in, should be able to pick up this kill, and we're going to need a bit of help from Kello to get this one through. The pass is... Oh, he's found it past Yoshi! What a pass and what a finish from CMM to get them back in it just before overtime.
One of the nicest goals I've seen for such a long time. Beautiful work from CMM, and now it's all guns blazing. A hypercharge there from Kello, trying to make some space for Ramika, who needs some super. He's got to respawn back in, but SK now got a massive opportunity. They can make a little bit of space here. It's a wide open goal for OPE, and he doesn't hesitate to score.
I mean, they've just given them the ball again. Just put it in the pocket, play for a draw. I don't think you're winning that in overtime. Seems like slight mishaps are really costing them here. First time SK score, Primo just, obviously you see an opportunity there, right? You go for it. I think you have to. But in that situation, he just passes the ball straight to Shelly and overjumps. It's a massive oversight and a big misplay. They're going to need to change things up. If they can get goals like the one they scored, they're winning.
It really was that shot, a stunning goal, wasn't it? But SK Gaming wasting no time in the first 10 seconds of play to eradicate two members of CMM and bring this ball forwards. Kai will have to try to advance, gain anything off the back of that radius that he will have as a defensive measure. Ramika coming in now, has got super also, but this slow from Naui is dangerous for CMM.
Ramika just not getting a lot back from anything here. Shade's going to go really aggressive on Ope, find a couple of critical hits and get some good damage in. Now the jump coming forward, lands it onto Naui, but he's not going to get very far. Shut down by the Shelly next to him, and the Poco doing a great job of keeping his teammates in the mix. This might be a pass forward. The goal here is there was an open, and I thought on the left, but he's just going to choose to wait this one out. They know they're in control and don't want to take any risks.
Well, it was a guaranteed goal if Naui had super passed it, but he didn't. It wasted a lot of time, and that might cost SK, but playing this slow as they are behind, I can understand maybe why they were like a bit reserved and a bit more cautious. But let's see now. Ramika just jumps in again to all three members of SK. A block-3 blow from the Gale might delay things slightly. Yoshi maybe with a little bit of a sidestep. That ball pushed to the side by CMM. And SK could have maybe been doing better to hold on to it in that position.
Well, Shade just going to pass the ball back up again, going to actually go out the map to try and avoid some stuff here, and the hypercharge coming forwards now. OP getting hit hard, but he'll get his super eventually and just deal with him quickly. Twister going to be placed on the ball on the right-hand side. I don't think they were really even going for it in that circumstance, but here's the hypercharge from Remika, evades the super of Naui, but he's just getting healed all day long. It's giving Remika a good cycle, but he's still getting nowhere.
Well, as long as Kello is in the mix, then he will have that Twister to protect the ball. He's now pushed much more to the left-hand side, though, as Kai going on the aggressive. Now the ball being pushed to the left by Ramika, as SK Gaming are on the hunt. Hypercharge for Kello, great connection. A beautiful stun, a secondary stun as well. Ramika comes in with the ball, is pushed clear by SK. And now it might slowly advance. OP on the defense, has to pull the hypercharge. A beautiful pass to Kai. A CMM score with 15 seconds left of the clock.
Well, they've had nothing all game, and I'd argue SK had a really good chance to score. 10 seconds now to do just that. The ball goes in the corner. He needs to get a Twister on this. Can he find it? The knockback's there, and the Twister on it as well. That's going to stop all advances of SK Gaming, and CMM tie it up in Brawl Ball.
That is poetry in motion to see SK Gaming. All three members looking at the ball, protected by nothing less than a Gale Twister. The very strategy that made them famous in Brawl Ball. And it might be something of a little bit of a gracing period for CMM to maybe even steal here another set.
Definitely putting SK actually at risk now. Before they were feeling pretty good. This might be a walk if he didn't pass it to him there, but just drops a Twister here and finding himself in a bit of a compromised position. And now SK back in control of the ball. Dakai getting slowed again and will be dealt with, leaving just Primo on defense.
Ramika goes straight into all three members. OP's having a great time of that one. And it shouldn't even require much in terms of healing. Another hypercharge put to this right-hand side by OPE. This is a wide-open goal, but the Gale is so strong on defense. Ramika gets the ball as well now, pushes it to the side. And that's, again, valuable time for CMM.
Yeah, they are doing a good job of cycling out. I think Yoshi falls here, and the ball just placed back in the corner. Dakai's going to get a super against him from the Shelly. And the map is opening up. I think it gives Gale a bit more of a say, puts him in the game more, and they can't evade. But Remika with a hypercharge, going to have to make some big plays here, I fear.
Yeah, I think the ball's going to be coming forwards here as Dakai has picked it up. Ramika falls though. Kello then shortly after. It's now Dakai all alone on defense here. He keeps getting past the ball as well. He's gone back to the spawn side. staying on the line, and SK yet again can't find an opening.
I mean, their death cycle has been very solid from CMM. There's always some there on defense to stop the advance. And now they're going to try and mount an offense down this right-hand side. The hypercharge is there from the Shade, but Ope ready to fight that one out with a super of his own. But he can't take both of them. Nice shot there with the gadget as well. He's still going forward, getting so much ground, and what a stun from Kello! They're walking over them, and that's going to be the goal to put them one up, and they're burning the clock.
Yeah, wasting all the precious seconds of time is absolutely the way to play this, because there is 45 seconds left now for SK Gaming to get that response. Now he's trying to push himself forwards as OP flanks this left-hand side. There's a lot of utility, it must be said, for CMM, and the Kai uses it early. Rumika coming in yet again. A huge smash from OPE. Does take care of business, and now 3 members of SK Gaming bringing this ball forward. But again, Kello has got the gadget, and he doesn't hesitate to place it down.
Yeah, that's going to stop the clock a little bit here. The hyper is not there for the Kai. Now he gets it and doesn't pop it. Just going to wait for another one here. Rebecca going forwards, needs to stop them from getting the ball. Throws him away and goes back to the corner. Can Yoshi get it out? He can. The knockback's there, and Ope stunned. Can't get the ball yet, but has the hyper. No super use just yet. And he will find the pass to Naui, who gets the goal and keeps SK alive in the dying seconds of Brawl Ball.
And SK Gaming have got a pretty decent comp for overtime, as we already saw, but Takai knows for that reason he's not got the aggressive and pops the hypercharge. Kello's got super, pass to Rumika, and Rumika scores it! CMM, and 2 sets up against SK Gaming. We are now in very dangerous territory.
That is incredible. A great answer from SK Gaming to push that to overtime, but they had so much kit used in that one push that it just left CMM with so many hypercharges, so many supers that they could just push straight through them in overtime. Incredible stuff, and I've got to give it to Kello. The plays were really made by him, the knockbacks, the stuns, and even towards the end there, managed to get the ball to Remika and force the knockback through.
Yeah, really impressive stuff from CMM. And, I mean, we are eating our words here on the desk. Happily so, but nonetheless, it's exactly what happened yesterday in East Asia. It just feels like the underdogs are really having a fantastic start to the 2026 season.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't see Ope's face there, but his expressions just seemed so stressed, kind of hands on head there. And what a push-in that was in overtime as well. Not much of a reaction from them, to be honest with you. You thought they'd be trying to hype people up, but I mean, kills after kills after kills, but they weren't finding the goals. Just one more over the side of CMM does decide it, and Remika, he really did well on the Primo in that matchup with 7 kills, was forced on the Shelly for the most part. All members of CMM doing a great job, I feel.
But I think there were places where SK Gaming could have done better.
Oh, yeah. I thought there was open goal, to be honest.
There was open goal, and that super pass that just did not happen. And that delay, those few seconds, make a massive difference to that. The spawn cycle then was in CMM's favor, like you rightly pointed out. They were just very cautious to not all go down at the same time. There was always someone on that backline defense, and I think it speaks volumes to the way that they are approaching this. It's not just random, it's not luck, it's CMM being incredibly calculated and keeping calm against a massive titan like SK Gaming.
Well, who would have thought this would be the score coming into this one? To be honest, probably us. After yesterday, we probably should have presumed this was going to happen with the underdogs running riot here in the February monthly finals. But SK Gaming still a bit of a chance. It's, you know, even if I came into this game and I was like, okay, CMM have got a 2-set head start, do I think SK can win? Absolutely. There's a possibility of a reverse sweep here, and it's not a small one either. But if CMM keep on playing like they are, keep drafting well, it can be done in 3.
It's now a very scary place if you're SK Gaming. A team which only faltered in the semi-finals last year on the world stage. Now 2 sets down to a team where 2 of these 3 players only made 2 monthly finals in 2025. Unreal, honestly. Here's first pick for CMM now, and that's a very strong pick at that. Fans of Tick, Mortison, Squeak, Brock, Angelo, and Mina.
Yeah, it's an extremely good first pick here to have a very solid brawler to be able to pick up. They banned the Mortis out the way, so OP won't be seeing that brawler again. And a bit more of the aggression banned out from SK Gaming with that Mina as well. Honestly, surprised to see Tick out the mix, to be honest. I didn't think he was really a brawler that people considered at the moment, but this map can open itself up to throwers, and if you leave yourself susceptible, then absolutely can be taken advantage of. Gene. is going to be SK Gaming's first, along with the versatile RT, which has the range and has the close range as well for those closing seconds.
Can CMM do this?
They can.
Is this going to happen?
Are you asking me? Is that rhetorical?
Yeah, no, I'm asking you right now.
You put me on the spot? They can. They absolutely can. They can close it in 3. They've got a good first pick as well. We'll see the next 2 in just a second. But SK Gaming, even if, as I said, even if you'd have put this in front of me, CMM are 2-0 down, 2-0 up. Can SK Gaming win? I say absolutely. They will 100% bring a fight here. But Gray and Gus, I think, are a further 2 good picks from CMM.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that CMM are drafting exceptionally well here. Gene and RT for SK Gaming. It's lacking a little bit of aggression, but then with the Gus on the other side of the field, you kind of want to stick to the range game or some control for me. And you can't really go throw because the Grey is just too suppressive into brawlers along those lines. So it's got to be somewhat of a long-ranged extension. Also, I think really super tanky, but then it's so high risk. Ruffs makes a lot of sense. Over time, just continuously increasing your team's ability to go on the aggressive and survive those sharpshooter engagements. For SK Gaming, a team which is so good at keeping a calm head. They've had some roster changes this year. It's now a time that's going to put them to the test at the earliest stage of 2026.
Yeah. And nobody would have expected this either. I don't think they'd have expected this. I'm sure they've probably been screwing the semi-final maps more than the quarters, expecting to breeze past their opposition here. I do like that Ruffs pick last, though. Obviously, with the 3 single projectile brawlers on the CMM side, he's going to be able to do a good amount in that late game when that gas starts closing in. The same with RT as well. So, SK Gaming, very good late game comp. They're just going to be cautious of not being picked off by these brawlers, by the TPs of Gray, because I think they'll win the lane.
Well, both sides scouting their left and right bushes to now determine that all 3 are still in the mid. A nice walking cane connection there from Kello on that top side. Does also clear 3 tiles of grass. Kai going a little bit aggressive here. Might choose to come back and heal as the Gene spray will keep him low otherwise. Bit of a jab at each side just to try and get that early utility.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if we've really had that many hits, to be honest with you, so Super shouldn't be very charged here. Kello going to rotate to the right side, go for the walking game, find OP there as well, and gets a couple of hits. Risk here for OP, and he gets battered by Remika, who doesn't find the return blow from Naui to take him down. He's marked, they're just backing off. They know they can win this in a 3v2.
Kello's playing unbelievably well on this Gray, and as you likely say, you know, they're not really landing lots of shots in this early outset. Now starting to really up the gas on the side of CMM and just decimating SK. But this work by Kello early on is fantastic. Breaking that left side bush, breaking some of the map down the bottom right also. That's where you've really got to connect those early walking canes, and he didn't hesitate to miss.
Yeah, I mean, that was lovely from Kello as well. He did use the TP there, but got the 2 shots back straight away. A little auto-aim up top, auto-aim up bottom. Can't blame him for doing that. What a walking cane again, and he's got the hypercharge ready to roll. And if I look at this and see what's charged right now, a Gus Shield, a Grey Hyper, I'm thinking, all right, we're going match point.
It's Kello's first monthly final. He's new to the BSC. He's playing so well and just completely unfazed by the credentials of SK Gaming. Takai now has got a shield as well. That could prove to be quite hazardous for SK Gaming to breach, as the entire middle of the map is now opened up by Yoshi also.
Yeah, well, Ramika's still sat in the mid. Gene pulls there, so that's OP's saving grace, along with Naui with the ability to drop his legs. This power-up's still lurking here. They don't want to overstep and go for it and feed some possible super to the Pierce, who should be fairly close, considering just one of the ones who hasn't had a super just yet. Hypercharged TP's still there, but they're all grouping up, and they know they can't really go into... Oh, what a hype! But what a pull that is there! Now he's got his legs dropped, power-up collected as well. Remika might need to focus him. They're finding all the kills, and now he's down as well! Match point to CMM coming up next, and another underdog story in February.
SK are not even remotely in this game. They have shown nothing so far. Everything they try is countered. CMM are firmly in this driving seat. 2 rounds away, and SK will go down in the quarters. They've got to pull something out of the bag, and it's got to be now.
Need a little bit of a different stance here as well. Can't have those walking canes connecting early and getting super, because the Grey TPs are what start these pushes that are winning it for CMM. Pierce yet to really find too many shots. Takai's still down the bottom in a more aggressive position, but Yoshi doing some of the same over the left.
Kello yet again creeping on this right-hand side, trying to get an early walking cane. This is a great wall for him to stick behind as well. SK know that they can't then move forwards. And once that gas starts to come in, they'll be too close to the edges. They'll have to be forced out. Kai as well would love to get a shield to allow the Great to be more than the aggressive. Both sides being very cautious now.
Yeah, I mean, SK have to be. They really do. They can't take any more risks. And CMM don't want to let it get to their heads. They're on match point against probably the best team from the region last year. They're the sandbags down, used early, so they won't be able to tackle later in this. Ope uses those support for the Vengeful Spirit, sorry, and that's a kill there. Dakai gets one more, and now he's the only one left. Doesn't even use his super. And one more round needed for CMM to take down SK Gaming.
I had SK to be in the grand finals.
I had them winning it all.
What a start to the year for CMM, but it's not done yet. The job is still at hand. Now the sandbags is all that's brought back from that walking cane. SK know that they are floundering, but they've got to come together now. It's a real test to this roster. It'll be such a disappointment if this does not go their way.
I mean, this is by far the best position SK Gaming have had in these knockout games. All control, Gene pull in a hand, the wall broken, power up laying on the floor, Naui with his super as well. And the Vengeful Spirit does, I think, just clip a wall there and not find Remika. Kello trying to come down the left-hand side, making the move, and someone needs to do it, but he's getting hit hard by Naui and Ope there.
Last year, SK Gaming either made the grand finals, won the grand finals, or left in the quarters. This is the question now on our minds. Is it going to be the latter? Oh, it's going to be a start. Now he finds a connection as well. It's a sweep, a wipe for SK Gaming in a round. They're clinging on.
They absolutely needed that, and really SK Gaming didn't have to use too much kit to get it done either. CMM shouldn't be getting that much supercharge off that interaction, and still SK sitting with all three. The Gene Pull's going to be huge for them. And Yoshi still power up in hand, surprising not to have seen him provide that, but might want to take a few walls.
Spedder from SK. Hunkering down, walking cane, and OP responds! What a beautiful magic hand, making a 3 versus 2. There's a hypercharge there for Yoshi also, he's going to use it now. Probably hand it over to OPE, or maybe even the RT's probably the better choice for me actually, and now he will pick it up. SK cannot falter now, they've got to secure this round. Big taps from the top. Now he is being patient with this hypercharge, as I think is wise, but he can't overextend. He's got to be careful to not go down. He is the playmaker. Remika falls now, and SK Gaming seal it. They get a game. No time like the present.
I mean, that was much better from SK Gaming. Absolute domination there in those 2 rounds in that game. Really was. The positioning was great. They didn't let the opposition build up supers. They kept their own supers themselves for the big moments. And a good turnaround there. When you get Walking Cane, he just pulls him back, doesn't give him the chance to TP out. So nice stuff from SK Gaming, and they're back in the game.
But needless to say, it is still match point in favor of CMM now. I mean, another miss Walking Cane from Kello. These are the moments where rookies are put to the test. Getting a match point is one thing, securing the win, another story. And SK are starting to communicate better, their confidence starting to grow. CMM clustered still on this top left. They've got to get out and spread out of this position.
Yeah, Kello's getting battered here. He's the one on the front lines, the other two. Bit of a longer range to evade some shots. Great stuff there. 2 Vengeful Spirits will find Remika, and a hack gadget will kill Dakai. Kello down as well, and Remika, the only one remaining. Supers getting farmed over and over by SK Gaming, and although CMM started this set so strong, it doesn't seem to be in their grasp now.
Pitch perfect from SK Gaming there. See how quick the round went and the amount of utility which SK have got, all 3 members with super now. And CMM floundering a little bit. They can still win this set if they bring 2 consecutive rounds forwards, but with SK now in this position, I think it's becoming less likely.
Yeah, you've got to doubt it when you see all the supers of SK Gaming at the moment. Gene Pull, rough super, and the RT down the right-hand side. He gets hit. Oh, good Walking Cane there. The pull in return, though, I think killed him. Lovely stuff there from Ope. And the sandbags placed down, and that's another one fall as well. They're just falling apart. They hit a good Walking Cane. It looks like they've got a chance, but SK just turned it on them. Brilliance from SK Gaming, and that's what we come to expect from this roster. They get the set, and it's back to 2-1.
This is what I kind of don't understand, is like, we see that and moments of brilliance from SK Gaming, but why did it take to get to a match point against them to pull out the bag, you know?
Yeah, I don't have an answer. I don't have an answer for you. Yeah, exactly. You're really putting yourselves back up against a wall to to then show what you've got. And I don't think they were really playing bad in the other two sets. They weren't taking opportunities, and there was a few mishaps here and there. But I think so far, the CMM roster has just been playing really well. Kello, in those openings, in the opening game there in this set, played incredible. And then we saw nothing from them after that.
Finally, SK Gaming wakes up, takes a set for themselves, but it took them a while to finally pull up their socks. And even though they had a pretty good draft in that set 1 and 2, I don't know what happened. What is it that makes it FACMM is winning against them today? Are they just mechanically better than them? Did they draft better? Is SK Gaming not communicating well? There's many reasons, and it's probably a mix from all of them. What's your opinion, Ark?
Probably all of the above. For me, all of the above.
Okay.
It was a great first starting draft, I felt, and Brawl Ball, some big missed opportunities. I mean, it was very apparent to me that they were just not able to really seize the moment. And going into that third set, you know, there's some nerves that were clearly showing, that, you know, massively so. And it's just that experience that shone through towards the end that saved them, really.
It really just follows the same pattern we had yesterday already. If we say they're going to win 3-0, they're about to lose 3-0, right, Trev?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think it might be getting to the point where you just don't listen to us at all, scrap whatever we say and just go with your own heart. I thought this one was going to be pretty tied off. SK Gaming coming in and sweeping. And we've just had their backs against the wall with a match point against them. And CMM playing really, really solid Brawlstars. And they've still got 2 sets to close it out now. So although what we've just seen from SK is really good, they now need to continue that again for another 2 sets.
They picked up Shelly a couple of times, which was one of the Buffy brawlers we haven't seen too often yesterday. Is she just not that good? Is there a reason why we don't see her too often? And is that why SK Gaming is not really prevailing?
I don't think it's the brawler at all. I think that it's SK stuck inside their own heads right now. They've had a roster change. Sometimes they take time to then, you know, even out the creases, so to speak. CMM have got nothing to lose. That's what makes them dangerous. They haven't got these massive amount of expectations on their shoulders.
That is so true, CMM. They just want... They're probably happy to be here right now. If they can take a win against SK Gaming, that would obviously shake up the region. And that in the very first month, those points are so important to establish yourself, put yourself into a good position for the rest of the season, Trev.
Yeah, well, Mina going to come in as the first then from SK Gaming. I like that pick, really, really solid. The shield that you can place down with the gadget is still so strong, stopping pretty much all projectiles from coming inside it. CMM back to them with 2 picks. Ban-wise, we're looking at the 3 very aggressive and tanky brawlers from SK Gaming. They don't want to play the Mortis, Ali or Frank, which gives it a bit more, you know, chance for CMM to just kind of run them down and beat them that way when they know they are in reality the better team mechanically. And then the Ems, the Pierce and the Spike on the other side, which are 3 solid bans from them as well. Finks coming in from CMM, good pick.
Yeah, I quite like it. I think at this stage it's hard to go too aggressive considering that Amber is still a very viable option that really takes away that unpredictability in which it brings. It's definitely something strong for the mid to combine with the Finks wouldn't be the worst of shouts here. I think Gus could still have a good place in this kind of map and mode. Let's see how CMM want to go about things, but some Buffy brawlers could be an option. I mean, certainly, well, we talked about Stu earlier. Sonny's happy.
I hope for your sake it works. I really do. After I spoke so bad about the brawler, I'm really hoping for your sake it does work.
I was just having a little celebratory dance over here. I'm super happy to see Stu come out twice this weekend so far. Finks and Mina actually the most pickup brawlers in scrims across EMEA last 2 weeks. So I'm not surprised to see those 2. Pierce actually banned out. A little surprising, he was picked up quite often, not banned out too often, despite him being quite strong. Leaves us open with, a couple of other long-ranged options they could still go with. What we were kind of hoping for, Ark, was a Poco comp. Poco
Looks like you might get it.
Yeah,
exactly. And now we have already 2 tanks on the side of SK Gaming. I kind of see a Poco here. Glowbird, of course, could be an option next month. Actually still banned this month. But I'm sure we're going to see some action from him too. Byron, maybe Gus again. Many options here, but it's probably going to be a healer, right?
We can do this.
Not the healer I was expecting, though, honestly. Poco, Byron, or Gus were my 3. And the Pam is still very good, especially on this map. Lou going to come in. Definitely a bit of a kryptonite for the Draco, but yeah, quite a balanced and even draft, I would say, for the most part, but it depends how each side want to play it.
I mean, I love the way I'm saying, SK Gaming don't want to bring in the tanks. They don't want to have this be kind of a bit of an unpredictable matchup, and then they just run it down themselves. But that appears it's the way it's going.
this is exactly what Zeta Division did yesterday. 2 tanks or 2 assassins, pairing it with either a damage dealer or a healer. So SK Gaming, I think they do well, finally picking something like this up. CMM, honestly at this point, they would take this win with pride, and I would be super happy for them.
Well, I feel they need to take this win in this set, because the longer they leave it, the more SK get warmed back up and the who they are. OP on this right-hand side, now going to struggle as Ramika breaks that top L wall. And so far, it's SK that are firmly on this zone.
I mean, lovely stuff from Remika so far on that Stu, doing a lot of work, but it has been all SK Gaming getting the percentage down, and Kello not taking any opportunities to heal up here. And regardless of getting 2 kills and just leaving Naui alone, they haven't really done too much. Here's the shield from OP as well, doesn't have any ammo to make anything work, and they're getting so many kills, but nothing for it.
So far, objectively, SK have been much more focused on this zone. But now, CMM being resourceful, bring in some of their utility. OP has got the dancing flames on this right-hand side, though. That's a concern. Enough to make CMM back off.
Super heavy aggression here, a little breakthrough. Didn't, I don't think, do what he wanted, and they're in the backlines. But Stu doing a good job of kind of dual-wielding him, dealing with them both. OP in the backlines now, trying to get Kello down, but can't. But Pam will put the nail in the coffin for him, but CMM are more than back in this.
Yeah, this Fink Super really helping hand. A lot of the shots that were coming their way. Hypercharge now popped by Ramika. Littering the map with flames to rival that of the Draco. And slowly but surely, CMM are starting to bring back this objective. It's neck and neck, 63% apiece.
Yeah, super back and forth, but here's the Pam healing station with the hypercharge. Fink's going to throw down one of his own, and that's going to take so much to get these little meter tornadoes out the way. The percentage is close, but they've won the zone back for now. Now he's still sitting quite healthy there with a shield on top of his regular HP, and OP getting back onto the zone.
Now SK are going to hold as this hypercharge of OP decimates everyone in his wake. Now just Kello, who will fall swiftly after, and SK Gaming have just been able to hold on to claim this first game.
That is lovely from SK Gaming. There was chances for CMM in there. There really was. They played some seriously good Brawlstars at times, but as soon as that Draco super hits, you've got no chance unless you've got a big answer for it, like a hypercharge you roam from the loo. So there's a chance. I think they are absolutely in this set. They just started really slow, in my opinion.
Yeah, and like I said, the longer this is drawn out, the more SK Gaming will start to dig deep and know the ramifications of a loss at such an early stage of the season. Every month matters now. There has never been fewer spots for the World Finals and World Cup for EMEA now. It's not the same as 2025. You've got to be on your A game at every single moment.
Well, this is one way to have a better start. OP wasted his super, they've got full control of the zone, Pam's down. They're in a wonderful spot right now. Yoshi trying to rotate down this left-hand side, and Dakai still has this super on the zone, kind of on the floor, sorry, and now he's having to wait that one out. And they've got a wonderful lead so far. OP still yet to find another super after wasting his first, and Finks will throw down one of his own along with another Lu ice ring.
This feels like a lack of urgency from SK Gaming almost. Yoshi needs to probably flank around this left-hand side and get behind the field of action. Nice healing station from Naui, but they're saying that with no cover to hand, it's immediately eradicated. He wasn't able to body block it himself. Now, SK creeping forwards. OP trying to make some space, but SK are behind. They've got to regroup, stay present in this match, or they're going to be against another match point.
Love that wall break there from Remika on the left-hand side. Gives him a huge opportunity to pinch in when he's just in that pocket. Now he has to get inside this windmill here, and the super just flies straight past Dakai as he's got the Fink super down from Kello. OP low, does have to force a gadget, which means he won't have it in a few seconds when he comes back up. Another hyper there from CMM, and another one on top of that as well. Now he's decimated, and they're back on match point.
And look at that, plenty of seconds to spare. And CMM, another match point for them. They couldn't seal it in knockout. Can they seal it in hot zone? That is the question. We saw this before with them. They were just so consistent in skill. That nervousness of being able to actually do the unthinkable, that is now the demon in their head they've got to battle and secure.
Well, it needs to be a good start for CMM again. Same goes for SK Gaming if they want to remain in this game. And a good position early on for OP. Didn't go down the left-hand side this time, and Remika will use the breakthrough. Now trying to burn some damage onto him, but he gets in that dragon form, breathing the fire. He's still burning, not looking too healthy, but yet again, it's back to game one, SK Gaming on top.
Yeah, no percent so far for CMM. And SK Gaming now on 40%. We can regroup. Battle is down. OP still staying alive as well with a helping hand of the last stand gadgets. SK have done half of what they need to do now for CMM, submit control, and now awaiting their third. This is the time to win things back.
Yeah, it's absolutely going to have to be super cycle after super cycle for Kello and Dekai at the moment. They really need to keep on raining these down, otherwise that percentage just deficit they've early had against them is going to be a big, big issue. Ope going to get into the Dragon now. I think he's got a gadget at hand as well. Super's there, and he's going to use the Ice Block. Try keep himself alive, but it doesn't last very long. Remika doing a lot of work. Scrapsucker there for Naui as well, and he's just rotating to this right-hand side. Super placed down for Kello, but there was really no one there to support him until now.
We need more from Kello. These time warps are what helped CMM in the previous game so much. But that's a devastating hypercharge from Naui. It will provide so much for cushioning for SK Gaming despite the freeze of the Lu. They're staying firm. All three members now battling for this final 19%.
Well, Hyper popped and they find Ope there in the corner. He's got Hyper and that's surely going to be the end for them. Ramikis using the Super now. He's got a gadget there as well, but actually the Hyper's not doing too much. Dekai's still alive, now falls. And Naui with this healing station in the back and then pinned in from 3 angles is surely the end of CMM.
Kelly popped a premature hypercharge now. SK Gaming grouping together and taking care of business. Ramika's still on the zone, doing his best to stay alive and heal up accordingly. Dekai, low HP. Kello is there, but SK Gaming will secure a set in the final hour.
There was absolutely a chance at the end. They just weren't finding that kill on the Pam, and his healing station keeping him in the mix for so long. Really nice stuff from SK again. Game 1, pretty much perfect. Game 2 really didn't go their way at all. But then in Game 3 again, they bounced back. And once more, CMM can't get the match point goal.
You've got to give it to CMM here. They keep their nerves under control, even though the first set goes towards SK Gaming after they've just lost Goldarm Gulch. But they're still will to fight. They want to take this home. They had 2 chances already, Art. They pushed none other than SK Gaming, #1 seed of EMEA in 2025, 3rd, 4th at the World Finals in 2025. They pushed them twice to match point.
This is the thing in EMEA, you know, the curse of winning, being stuck inside your own heads. The teams are, and have the most experience in their credentials, are the ones that know what it takes to get past that mentality. It's a very, very tough thing. And so at the moment, CMM are really doing exactly that, despite some very strong stats. The gravity of what they're trying to achieve is really, really struggling to go around.
I do want to say that Stu pick worked out quite well, Trev.
Absolutely did. And listen, I'm sure, like, I didn't say ever it was a bad brawler. I said it's a boring favorite brawler. Like, I don't know anybody who's gone, I tell you what, I like a Stu.
Infinite supers, you know, just like zoom around the map. I mean, regardless, it didn't win it for them. That's the thing.
It did do well, though. It did really well. It was honestly the brawler that was making the biggest amount of work.
I felt was actually doing more.
Really?
I did. Those time warps were flowing so well in that second game. Towards the end, I didn't see enough of them from Kello.
I really liked all 3 members of CMM today. We also have to mention here, they play with 0 up until this point. Kello actually just joined the roster, so he's a guy that we have never seen on any small or big stage, and now immediately stepping up to play in the monthly final of the BSC. He must be quite nervous, and still they have actually taken the first 2 sets. Something that we see quite often is that the newer teams struggle in the first set and then they wake up. Here it's the other way around.
Yeah, well, this is the final set. Either way you look at it, you know, for SK Gaming, they've now got all the momentum. I think that for CMM, they had to seal it either then in Hot Zone or prior to that in Knockout. Going into the 5th, my money is back towards SK, despite how they're playing being a bit shaky. I think that they've just had that ability to now go, right, 1 more set.
I think that where it really helps to have a coach as well. SK Gaming 2-0 down. Pedro is there to help them calm their nerves, to prepare for the next set and pretend nothing happened before. And maybe that's where CMM is now struggling, Trev. They have no one to tell them, hey, you can still do this, boys. They need to do that themselves. And you also were in this position before. How do you feel in that moment?
To be fair, I just got destroyed. I
was going to say, are we really getting advice from Trevor about how to play in the pro scene?
Technically, I'd say, well, once I did get reverse swept by SK Gaming, and it was not a nice feeling, I'll tell you that, in a qualifier. To qualify to the monthly finals, I was crying in my shower afterwards.
I bet, yeah.
Well, I hope FACMM still take this one with pride, and they still did push SK Gaming twice to a match point. Do that, you know, that's still a very good, successful feat, but it's not over yet. They can still take this one home. They can still be the ones to make it all the way to the grand finals, and SK Gaming knocked out right in the quarters. We're now on bridge too far, a map I kind of wanted to see, so I guess I'm not too unhappy with the outcome here. Chalk is actually banned out in this series. Eve is going to be picked up on the right-hand side. A brawler we talked about yesterday as she's nowhere near meta, never picked up, but if she's good, then on bridge too far.
I mean, it makes perfect sense here. Angela being banned, and you know the big heavy hitters like the Chuck, the Melodies, Kaze's all out of the question. Cole as well, another good ban. 8-bit, I love that brawler on this map. I really do. It's often forgotten, but I like the CMM are considering it massively so. I think it wouldn't be the worst place for a Juju here. I think that in the current meta, she's really kind of out of it. It's possible. It depends about any potential wall breakers coming through at a later stage of this. But I think that so far, I'm liking what CMM are bringing.
Yeah, I think it's really good. If you can manage to cycle out so many of the Eve supers, get your hypercharge, have them just non-stop coming in against, you know, these usual single projectile brawlers on a map like this. And there's the Juju that you mentioned. So the throw is coming in, and I do think it can work. I think it can work really, really well, but at the same time, I think it can just as easily be pinned in spawn and do nothing.
I don't think there's any other heist map where we see those brawlers come in. Here it is because of the water. So Juju and Eve have a little bit more wiggle room to dodge the incoming shots. Eve also particularly good against Nanny, that has quite a slow reload speed with her little spawns whenever she has a super. Last pick now for SK Gaming, probably something with even more damage, as they right now just want to hold control. Never mind, it's going to be a defense actually. Otis coming in. It seems like they do expect FACMM to come in with some aggression themselves, with 8-bit, Eve, Juju, Otis and Nanny on the map so far. Arc, it's going to be a very passive, slow-paced game.
Are they expecting maybe like a Miko? Potentially, is that what the Otis is on their idea? I mean, something like that wouldn't be a bad shout, or something tanky. I think tanky's kind of harder to make work for the Miko on this map. You've got much more ability to swap lanes. Brock, I think, is the good shout, and I'm pretty sure that CMM may have just dodged the bullet by not doubling down on what they were maybe considering. SK Gaming to go with that. Whether that's kind of seeing through some of the data, or maybe it's just something for their consciousness to go in with something. Now the question is that Otis going to be doing as much against the lineup which they're looking into?
Yeah, I wouldn't say so. They had to have that precautionary measure, absolutely, in case something more aggressive did come down. But I like that pivot from CMM. They maybe were going to go something aggressive, but now bringing in a brawler with great DPS, the ability to break grass, to break walls, kind of open. I think there's unbreakable walls on one side, but on the other side you can still break it. So that gives Juju less legs for walking across the walls. Obviously, it harms the Eve at the same time, but it's a win and lose, you know? That's
the advantage of the last pick here. They had to pick up Otis. Let's see how it bears out. Last set of this series, SK Gaming versus FACMM.
Well, an early break there with the rocket fuel for Takai. And OP just trying to maneuver nicely so as well forwards, getting some good taps, put the poison there, and the fuel will trickle him down. As Yoshi staying firmly on that right-hand side, a good solid rock as always for SK Gaming. Nowy there brings forward the peep, and so much of a tankiness from that shielding too, with a little tap onto the safe as well.
Yeah, but so much of a super battery as well in that situation. Brock being provided here. Remika shouldn't be too far off now either, and OP moving up the map. Not going to be the biggest DPS on safe, and Kello trying to get some DPS down himself. He will fall on the right-hand side as Grigri doing some good work. Yoshi pivoting back to the right, and Brock will go straight over there to meet him. Well,
Nowy, again, on this Nanny pick, is the man to watch for SK Gaming. Going to be trying to cycle those peeps in. I think with the help of the hand of the star power of Tempered Steel, so they can stay more present whilst in that peep form. Whistling down, Kello chose not to go for the safe for the moment. But as time goes on, SK Gaming do need to crack that first stage, but they're doing better than CMM in that regard, who have yet to even scratch it.
Great pinch from Takai though, and then Remika pinches the left-hand side as well, so 8-bit should be able to heal and get up. Same with the Brock here, as he does outrange the Otis, but Nanny coming in with a hyper charge now, just running him down and pops that super as well. Probably got the TP and does go straight for him. Can't find the kill. Wow. Goes down himself. What a move from Takai. Bit of help from Remika in there as well. And that should be some big shots and save. Takai will lose his life because of it, but should pretty much equal the score now.
Ooh, it didn't trickle down, so it's still at 87% on the SK Gaming safe. If nothing changes, that is enough to win the game. Now he as well, renowned for his nanny play. So bringing it in at this stage of the competition, I quite like. You see how little damage is really being dealt to him when he is using that peep. But a trade nonetheless on the left-hand side. 20 seconds remain, and now every inch of damage counts.
Yeah, I mean, that was huge. Remika just going to have to throw a super down more aggressively, try get OP to fall, but that's a waste of a hypercharge. Full control now in the hands of SK Gaming. Still a chance, though, as they tank that shot, 1% in it, but SK holding so firm. Dakai popping a hypercharge, needs to move. Remika moving up. Kello going for the damage as well, but there's a TP up top. OP falls, the damage starts to come down, but Nani did enough on the opposing side, and SK Gaming go to match point.
What a difference a few set make for SK Gaming. Now, they get a match point. They cannot let this slide. If this goes to match point, it's going to be very dangerous territory. And that wasn't the highest of scoring rounds for Heist. Not by a long shot. So this time round, I think they would much prefer to give themselves a bit more of a cushioning, because that was a little bit close towards the end.
Yeah, absolutely. And CMM definitely had more chances to get some damage in there as well. Now just a few mishaps on the Nanny TPs, sometimes not having as much luck as I'm sure I'd have hoped. Kello really finding it difficult to place down these damage boosters. He's getting hit hard by the slows there coming in from OP, standing on that water. A good jump across from Remika, should be able to get this finish, and does. And the Brock rotates left.
The helping hand now of that damage booster. Dakai will have a lot more fuel to his rockets. Good taps onto OP and Yoshi, clearing up some space, but nowhere really to be seen from the mid from Remika. He does need that. Oh, now he might get a bit of poison trickle down as well from these E-pets, and the Eshin will fall for the back of that as well.
Yeah, Grigri coming in, but he's not really getting a lot back from that. Just buys himself a bit of time and doesn't take any damage whilst the teammate's down. There's the wall break, giving him a bit of a better angle towards OP there, but he's just going to go to the right side and pinch there instead.
Yeah, OP is getting great value. He really is. Kello now double teamed. A nice meet there from Yoshi. Again, coming in strong for his team. More damage to Remika. But look at the safe. It's still just only a 4% in it game.
Yeah, there's the fat splatter, and that'll add 2% a tick more for the side of SK Gaming. Hypercharge coming in from Naui as well. OP trying to make a move through the middle, but doesn't really find too much now. Good kill there from Naui, and that's going to be the first crack gone for the side of SK.
Much, much better. And a peep earned there by Naui. Dakai really struggling on this right-hand side versus Yoshi. He might opt to go back to that left. Kello popping hypercharge, trying to make his move forwards, but goes down immediately to the zaps of Naui.
Yeah, huge stuff there, and OP having to force a lot of shots through there to get some in. And now he's going to get traded out. This might be the chance for them to re-crack that safe and bring it even. With 30 seconds left, we need a lot from CMM.
This could be it now for Kello, getting some really, really consecutive shots onto the safe with the help of the extra gadgets. Now 75% apiece. Dakai behind the charge now. If he connects to some of the safe, it could be huge. But a knockback from Naui might give some space for SK to respond.
I mean, that's huge as well from Kello. Great defense. Remika has control through this mid. Kello needs to be stopped on the left-hand side, which means OP can't go aggressive through the mid. There's the Grigri to dual wheel for lanes, but he's going to fall, and Naui has to use a super and a hypercharge to get up, and he won't. Brilliant from CMM to get their third match. I think maybe more than 3 actually, because they've had a lot of match points prior to SK winning one back. But they've had match point after match point after match point and haven't been able to close it out. Can they do it now?
Is this the game where CMM can take a step back, breathe a breath, and realize that they can do this? Or will SK Gaming put a stop to this madness? We are about to find out. It's such a very close set. A couple of percent in it. Both sides really are struggling somewhat in different ways.
Yeah, Lope gadget quickly and goes forwards, but luckily traded out. I think a little bit of a clip came in there from Naui on the right-hand side as well. Dakai, I was honestly expecting more from him in this Otis matchup. He probably will outrange him with the explosion radius and goes for a rocket fuel to get that extra radius going as well. Gets a hit, but nothing more back.
Dakai just waiting out the fat splatter on the left. OP is doing a fantastic job, by the way, of just juggling this mid-side lane. It's now down to really Dakai to try and break some of that up, get a bit of angle onto him. He'll go for the push, though, opting to prioritize Yoshi, who he has been struggling with just a touch. Naui, the hypercharge now, waiting for these pests to go down to not interfere with that peep, no doubt. Oh, but Remika strikes, gets the takedown, but no damage onto the safe. Now Kello, extra credits. That is a lot of damage.
Got the kill too, and he's going to be tanking with that as well. Now he pops a hypercharge to try and get something done, but Kello still dealing damage to the safe. They get that first crack down, and 93% still up top. Should be a TP from Naui, but not sure if he's going to get much back from it. Kello with another extra credits on safe, but only 1 or 2% taken.
Yeah, good defense there from SK. That could have been a bad situation going worse. Kai's got to juke for his life now. He's got no support. He's double matched between Naui and Yoshi. Ramika would love to get a little egg on the map here. Bring in some pests to be able to tank some of these shots. Rocket fuel from Dakai. And meanwhile, Kello will shoot maybe fall, but slow, staying alive on 800 HP. But that mute is going to trickle down as well. CMM are doing well, but it is on a knife's edge.
Well, there's 40 seconds left. SK don't seem to be getting control. The waste of a Grigri as well. Good kill on the right-hand side from Yoshi. Should allow him to go up, and a lovely one on the left too. But the Eve Pets with this hypercharge, keeping them mostly at bay and not letting him get that damage. And there's only 57 on SKs.
If Ramika can get just a couple of percent, just 7% on this safe to crack it, it would be massive. But now 20%, SK Gaming behind. Kello cracks the safe. SK Gaming are in trouble.
They need to make the move now. Still a crack left on CMM safe before they can even start to get the damage to next. 12 seconds, and this might be a defense. Down goes Otis on the left-hand side. Now he falls as well. And Kello on his debut, spinning on SK Gaming as they take them down in a 5-set series to make the semis.
2026 seems to be the year of the underdogs. No doubt about it. For SK Gaming, a squad that only went down in the semi-finals